Hi, I'd like to take you on a little tour of some of the things that we're doing to make the levels in Paperbound not only look awesome, but work for the game as well. We have this fiery dragon's eye level that looks really cool, but it's hard to track characters against it, especially orange ones who become camouflaged. So I took a screenshot and I loaded it up in Photoshop, and I isolated the area I care about, which is the background right here, and I left out the characters so that any changes I make don't affect the characters. One of the first things I want to do is bring in some other colors besides just orange, and I'm going to do that with this selective color tool and make it a little more purple. But I also want to have those flame tips stand out a little bit and make them look flamey, so I'm going to add some yellows as well. Now this looks really cool in my opinion, but it's still too rich in color, too saturated. So I'm going to take that color out of it, and I'm going to bring it way down, almost to the point where there's no color. But that's okay, because in the next step here we're going to add some color back in. I'm going to use this replace color tool to accentuate and highlight some of the flame tips so that the background doesn't look so dull. And I'm going to use a fuzzy select region so that it affects some other colors a little bit too, not just the flame tips. And let's see what that looks like right here. And I'll increase the saturation. And what I'm going to do is bring it up a little bit. Now if I bring it too far, it just looks crazy. So we want to find a nice medium where it pops a little bit, but not so much that it makes it hard to track characters. And that looks good. One more thing I want to do is darken some of those purples. So first I'm going to select those purples. And then in a new layer, I want to add in some blues on top. And the reason for that is that blues take reds to purple. And that looks crazy at first, but that's okay, because we're going to change it to the multiply mode, which helps it blend in a little more naturally. And that looks really cool, but the contrast is too strong to really be able to track the characters. So I'm going to reduce the effect of that to find a nice spot, and that looks pretty good. Now if you compare that to the original, you can see that the characters pop against it a lot more. Thanks for following along, and I hope you'll play Paperbound.